Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fire Mountain Gems and Beads Jewelry Making Studio. My name is Rose. Today, we're going to talk about the chenille stitch. And make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because that's what keeps the lights on. Thank you, folks.
Get our email newsletter for beading news, sale announcements, new product announcements, and more. Link is in the description below.
Okay, chenille stitch. We've got another video on how to do tubular chenille, and that's pretty easy and repetitive. This one's a little bit more tricky because it doesn't repeat until you get to row 6. So here's a couple of examples of various chenille stitches with various types of beads. The one I'm going to use today, we're going to try and make something like this one. I like to generally use a large and a small bead for this. I'm going to use size 8s and size 11s in the brocailles. And I've got some fireline thread here, a number 11 beading needle, and I put a bead stopper on the end so my beads go flying off the end like a machine gun. Okay, I'm going to start with an even number of these large beads, 8 of them. Let those go down to my stopper. And that is row 1. Now to this, we're going to add some of the small beads. My next row will be the small beads. So I'm going to add a small bead, a large bead, and another small bead. And I'm going to skip this first large bead and go into the second bead. And this is our turnaround. Pull that through. That's what it looks like. This is the top. There we go. So we're doing a row of the green beads down the back. Now I've gone through this pink bead, this large bead. I'm going to go through another one. So basically I'm skipping 2 beads, or I'm going through 2 beads, I should say. Pull that through. Excuse my hands being in your way. I'm going to add another small bead and go through 2 of the big beads. I'm going to add another small bead and go through 2 of the big beads. I'm going to add another small bead, and I've only got 1 big bead left, so I'll go through that 1 big bead. Now we have to make the turn on this side. On this side, I'm going to add a small bead and a big bead. And I'm going to go through, make the turn and go through the small bead. And make everything come out tight. Always watching tension. Then, so this small bead is supposed to be like in this little crack here between these 2 big beads here. So now I need to add 2 more big beads to match these 2 big beads. So 2 big beads and through the small bead. This is row 3. 2 more big beads through the small bead. I know it looks kind of funky and hard to follow what's happening. Don't worry, it'll all come together once we hit row 6. 2 more big beads. And now it gets a little interesting. For this turnaround, I'm going to go through the small bead, and I'm going to go down diagonal through this big bead below. Can you see that? I'm going to go through this small bead here, and down through the bead that's diagonal, this big bead right here. So through here, and if I have to, I'll do it in two steps. Go through the small bead, and I'm going to go down diagonally through this one. Easier said than done. The angle I'm working at. Excuse me while I change the angle a little bit. I don't want you to get confused, but I just had to get my fingers in the right direction. There we go. Keep your tension right. Keep everything nice and tight. And then we're going to go up through this little bead. Out through this big bead. And the next bead. I'm going to go through 2 beads. And we have made the turnaround, and we're ready to start row 4. We want to put green beads between each of these little V shapes right here. So there's going to be a green bead in each one of those. So this row, we're only going to have 4 green beads. 3 green beads. And the row below it, we had 4. This time it's only 3. So we add a green here into this little nook and go through 2 of the large beads. 1, 2. And then another green bead, or small bead, whatever colors you're choosing, go through 2 of the big beads. Another green bead, and go through 2 of the big beads. So that's the end of row 4. Now coming back, you can see we need 2 big beads to make this pattern on the turn. And we're just going to go through 2 big beads and go through the little green bead, and we're finishing row 5. Keep your tension tight. 2 more big beads. This is an easy row. Through the green. 2 more big beads. Through the green. And now we're going to get crazy again. Because at this point, we're going to make a different kind of turnaround. We've just come out of this green bead, and you can see we've got 2 more pink beads that have to go here. But there's nowhere to sew them to. So there's nowhere to go with those pink beads unless we go down. So we're going to go down to the row below. We're going to make a little roundy round. So we go through those 2 beads that are below the ones I just added. Ta-da! And through 1 more and come out here. Okay. Whew. There's my tail. And I don't need that stopper anymore. It's just in my way. So that was row 5. Row 6, we're actually going to start repeating. Whoa, finally. I'm going to add a green bead that's going to go in that hole right there. Go through here. I'm going to add a green bead, which would be the equivalent of this bead right here. It's the embellishment bead. And a pink bead. Get the tail out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. And go back through that green bead that I added here. Pull that through. And now we're just repeating. Let me do another cycle. So at this point, we're going through 2 pink beads. See where the green beads are going to go? They're going to go in that slot, and they're going to go in that slot, and they're going to go in that slot. And we've already got this one here. So we're going to go through 2 of the pink beads, 2 of the bigger beads, a green, small bead, 2 of the big beads, a green, small bead, 2 of the big beads, a green small bead, and there's only 1 bead left to go through, so go through that one. Now coming back, just like the time before, we have to add that green embellishment bead on the edge and 1 pink bead. So a green and a large pink bead, back through the green. And you can see where we're going now. So we've already started the next row on these two, but we got to fill in the middles. So 2 pinks, 2 pinks, 2 pinks. And I'm going to do that. 1, 2. Through there. 1, 2. Through here. 1, 2. Through here. And this is the weird one, remember? This is the one that goes diagonal. So I'm going to go through the green bead and the pink one diagonally below it. Through here. Now that row looks normal. Go through this green embellishment bead. Through these 2 pink beads, right? Yeah, these 2 pink beads. And we're going to do green beads in all of these little nooks. So green through 2 pinks. Green through 2 pinks. Greens through 2 pinks. And coming back, you see we need 2 pink beads here to make our pattern work. It's really important to visualize where you're going and what you're going to do with this. So if you can see the pattern, it makes it much easier to just do what you see. So I need 2 pinks. I need 2 more pinks. I need 2 more pinks. And this is another weird one, because remember, there's nowhere to sew it to. So for those 2, we're going to go around through the bottom and back up. So if you're having any trouble at all following me on the video, there are some really good graphics at firemountaingems.com. With the help of the video and the graphics, I'm sure that you can master the flat chenille stitch. Thank you ever so much for joining me at the Fire Mountain Gems and Beads Jewelry Making Studio. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. My name is Rose, and happy beading!